Mapping a process is the most important step in optimizing that process. Be that if you're optimizing using lean thinking techniques or through implementing new technologies. The first step is always to understand what is the current state of this process. Then when you understand where the business wants to be, then you can do that gap analysis to design the best solution to get them there. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the ways to map a process, map the as-is process, the current state. This is where you're looking at how the process is done now and where the issues are, where the blockers and the errors are happening. Then you want to understand what the team wants to achieve and work together with the team to co-create that solution, the to-be solution. Then we'll take a look at the importance of making sure you streamline a process before you automate. Hi guys, I'm Tony and this is Intelligent Automation Simplified. So if you're an analyst or project manager, business leader or professional interested in getting into automation, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're notified every time I release new videos. So you want to map the process before and after the change. So firstly, looking at what the current state is. It's a process map is a visual depiction of the process steps and the decisions. It makes it really clear and unambiguous. You can't argue against a process map. This is how it's done, these are the steps, this is the decision points, and this is how the process completes. And just by defining the process can highlight inefficiencies, and it makes it really obvious where you can streamline this process. Most likely many people are doing different things, so you want to make sure that the process is standardized first. Talking to different people, having an agreement of what this process should look like and what should be done. Just by standardizing the process and having everyone agree on the right way to do things can reduce errors and can improve efficiency. Because maybe someone has found a better, faster, more streamlined way to do it, but not everyone is doing it that exact way. So you find who's doing it the best, or maybe it's a combination of multiple people, and then you have everyone do that so everyone's working faster and more efficiently. So when working with a team on mapping their processes, you might want to start looking at the high level approach. You have a team, you want to understand what is the end-to-end process that team does, that team map. Maybe it's not always linear. Maybe there's several flavors or different paths that they would do. For example, they may have 2 or 3 different customers and each type of customer has its own process. Maybe it's not possible to standardize everything. So you want to map that out, understand the end-to-end process, and then you can start to dive deeper into the sub-processes and activities and tasks that are within that end-to-end team map. But with that end-to-end team map, you've mapped out exactly what that team does. You've painted a beautiful picture of everything the team does, and then you can start to superimpose onto that map the issues, the blockers, understanding where the pain points are in that team. And you can even put the metrics of this process we have 1,000 we handle 1,000 customers a day, and this process we only handle 10. And with these different metrics and issues and this multi-dimensional map that you've created, you can really start to see in one page everything that's going on in that team. And the good thing about starting at a high level is that when you dive deeper into a process, into an individual process, because you've got the end-to-end high-level process, you understand what's going on before that process starts, and after that process is done, what's happening downstream. And so when you automate a process or optimize a process, more often than not, the problems that are causing the issues in the process that you're looking up are actually occurring upstream. And then when you automate a process, you need to be aware of the downstream implications, because say you automate something, it's faster, they can churn out 1,000 use cases a minute, but then there's one person downstream who has to manage all that extra work. So it's good to have that peripheral view of everything that's going on around the process that you may be looking to automate. Once you've done your high-level analysis, you understand how different processes impact each other. Now you want to zoom down into that one individual process that you want to target and potentially automate. So when creating what's called the as-is process, firstly you want to do a little bit of research. Look at any documents that may be available, but it wouldn't be unheard of for there just to not be any. Maybe this process has never been written down before and you're the first person to actually put it down on paper. But if you're lucky, you should find some documents. They may be old, but it's a good place to start. And when engaging with the staff, it's good to have a baseline, something that you can work with and you can understand for yourself how this process roughly works. Then when engaging with the process experts, you can update that map, and it helps you to ask the right questions when they're walking you through the process. Because the thing is, when you're engaging with process experts, they've probably done this 1,000 times and they do this every day, so they know it like the back of their hand, and so it would be expected for them to miss out steps, as things are just second nature to them. So by having something that you can refer back to, you can ask, what about this step? Do you do this anymore? Or why did you make this decision? Or why did you take this route down this process? Or is this an old process? Or is this something that we haven't covered yet? So when mapping the process, like I say, you want to engage with the process expert, but you don't want them to just draw it out for you. You actually want to have them walk you through the process in real life. And this is what's called shadowing, where you literally sit next to someone as if you're their shadow, and you're watching them as they do the process. You're acting like you're their apprentice, and they're teaching and training you how they do a specific process. And the good thing about this, like I said, is second nature to them. So you can see firsthand how they do it in real life with real situations. And so you know that nothing is missed out. And because you have hopefully a reference document, and you can ask them how to show you different scenarios on that process. And when you're shadowing as a good apprentice, you want to ask a lot of questions. What is this step all about? Why did you make this decision? When do we click on this button? See, even if you have a team of 100 people, at least there may be at least 10 different ways that people run a process. So you want to have multiple people, at least 2 or 3 in a workshop who are senior experts of that process, who can come together and discuss what the as-is process should be, so it becomes a consensus and it's not based on just one person's opinion. If you're getting value from this video, just let me know by hitting that like button. That will really help me out. Thanks. So once you're confident that you have the as-is process mapped out, what they actually do right now, the best way to do that process, now you want to create the to-be workshop. So in this workshop, you're not there to provide the solution because you don't know anything about the process. You're not the expert. You're an expert in the technology. You're their automation Gandalf who guides the team to solve their own process problems and help them to make their process more efficient. So you bring the technology, you bring the tech knowledge, and work with these process experts to help them understand what the solution looks like that will help them get to their goals. So firstly, you want to take a step back and understand what this root cause is, what the root cause is for the issues and the problems and the pains that they're experiencing in their team right now. So you probe into what this root cause might be and understand what are they actually trying to solve and where are they looking to get to, what are their objectives. And by using the understanding of their goals and your knowledge in the capabilities of the technology, you can come together with them to start to design a solution that will help them achieve that. So perhaps it's not necessarily that they want to be more compliant or reduce errors, but maybe they just want to streamline the process, and then you would use lean thinking techniques to help rearrange and manipulate the different process steps so that it's a more streamlined approach. If there is a high error rate, or they want to be more compliant, or they want to save costs, then you know the different tools that you can use on this process to achieve those goals. So we've talked about mapping the as-is process. We've talked about co-creating that solution with the teams. Co-creating that solution with the teams so that you can automate with your suite of different intelligent automation technologies. So I really want to put the point home that it is really important that you streamline a process before you automate. There are two schools of thought when it comes to automation. You have teams that just automate a process as is, but then you could be automating something that is inefficient and you inherit the errors of that system. The other thing is to streamline and optimize before you automate. I always say the phrase GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. If you don't streamline and simplify and optimize a process, you're not really going to get the most out of the technology. By optimizing a process, you've looked under the hood, you've eradicated a lot of the errors that are inherent in that process, but also you can get a much higher return on investment. Because say the process was 100 steps and it took an hour to do, and then you reduce that by 25%, then the robot will take 25% less time to automate the new streamlined process. So less spot time on the same process with the same benefits inevitably means you've achieved a much higher ROI than teams that automate as is. Okay guys, I hope that was really helpful. There's a lot of other videos that I created about process mapping and optimizing processes, and I'll leave a link below on our process mapping courses about everything that you need to know about mapping a process in different technologies, in different applications like Visio or Draw.io, and the different ways to design a process map. So take a look at all those resources that we'll add in the link below. Okay guys, you have a great day. See you in the next video. Take care.